Hey, yeah, it's Anais, and I've never realized how many piercing horror stories I have, so we're gonna talk about those. Yesterday, as I was doing my makeup, I realized just how many piercings I've had before, and honestly, not all of them have been awesome. In fact, not all of them have been done professionally. And honestly, most of them I have done myself. And some of those my brother did. Disclaimer. Don't pierce yourself. And just because your friend decided to pierce their own septum does not make it okay for them to pierce yours, okay? So my first piercing gone wrong was my cartilage up here. And at the time, my sister just went through this phase where she just wanted to practice piercing ears. Why? I don't know. And she talked my mom into allowing me to get my cartilage pierced by her, which I don't know why I decided to be the guinea pig, but I did. I mean, back then, for you to be 12 or 11 years old with the cartilage piercing was like unheard of, and I wanted to be cool, right? Wrong. It was not cool, okay? The whole piercing situation itself wasn't that bad. She sanitized the needle, burnt it, used rubbing alcohol, sanitized my ear. She put an ice cube on my ear to numb it, laid me down on the bed to make sure that I was comfortable, and quickly pierced the ear, put the earring in, and that was that. It was what happened afterwards that is a total nightmare. So it was about 2-3 weeks after my piercing. It was still a little bit sore. You know, cartilage piercings take forever to heal. And I was in gym class, and that day we were running the mile. And I remember it so clearly. I was just finishing up my third lap, almost there, and I decided to kind of take a little break from running, and I started jogging. And this really annoying boy who I did not like starts jogging alongside me, and he starts asking me questions like,
"Why do you have that fake piercing in your ear? That's not even real."
And I'm telling him, like, go away, it's real, I don't care, bye. And just like the annoying boy that he is, he catches up to me again, takes my earring and rips it out of my ear. And at first, I was really confused because I did not feel the pain at all. It wasn't until I noticed that there was blood running down my shirt that I realized that he had actually ripped the piercing out, and it actually started hurting a lot. So at this point, naturally, I get sent to the nurse's office, and she does not know what to do. She's freaking out. She's calling my mom. She's like, "Come get your kid. She's bleeding all over my floor." And my mom comes and gets me, and it's at this point that we realize there's a giant tear on the back of my ear, and it is disgusting, and it hurt a lot, and I hate that boy. So the next day I go back to school, and of course I get called into the principal's office, and the first thing she says to me is,
"Just tell me, why did you get your cartilage pierced? It's not natural. It's your own fault. You shouldn't have your cartilage pierced. You should only have this part of your ear pierced."
So I'm thinking I'm in trouble because I broke one of the dress code rules or something like that. So I ask her, am I allowed to have a cartilage piercing in? And of course she tells me I wasn't breaking any rule because there's not a rule against having your cartilage pierced. But again, she tells me it's not a natural piercing to have. So then I ask her, as a terrified 11-year-old, are your nails real? Is your hair natural? Or is it okay to dye it? That only pissed her off more, so she sent me back to class, and I never got in trouble for it because, I mean, what did I do wrong, really? And the boy never got in trouble for it either because apparently, I mean, it was my fault or whatever. And in case you're wondering, my ear ended up healing just fine. There's like a scar on the back where you can see the giant tear, but you know, it is what it is. Next piercing horror story is my nose. This side to be specific because I do have both sides pierced. So I was still in high school and I had gotten some sort of award. I don't remember which one it was because I got a lot of awards. My mom was so excited for me at that point that she finally gave in and decided to let me get my nose pierced. And back in the day, piercings were a really big deal. So they were really expensive. Now you can get one for like 20 bucks. And all the tattoo shops that I could find were around $60 to $80, but there just happened to be a tattoo shop right outside my neighborhood so conveniently, and it was only like 30 bucks. And my mom was gonna pay for it, so I decided to save her some money and just go to this $30 piercing studio. Like, it's not a big deal, right? Wrong. Don't do it. Go to the more experienced places. So we walk in, and the guy who's gonna pierce my nose is like so attractive. Well, totally my type when I was like 16, okay? But anyway, he told me to mark my nose with like a Sharpie on where I thought the piercing should go. And I was a little bit confused because I was like, wait, aren't you the piercer? Shouldn't you tell me where the piercing goes? But I wasn't gonna question him, so I marked my nose and I was like, do you think this is okay? And he looked at it and he was like, yeah, that looks fine to me. Whatever. Sit down on the chair. He proceeds to stick the needle through my nose and he takes it out all the way and then tries to shove the jewelry in, which I've never seen somebody do before. But he's a professional, so I'm letting him do what he needs to do. And after a few attempts of trying to shove the jewelry in my nose, he realized that it wasn't gonna work. So he apologized and told me he was gonna have to pierce like a little bit lower or higher on my nose on another spot because he messed up. So he tried it again, and of course, it didn't work. At this point, I'm frustrated, I'm bleeding, he's apologizing, blaming it on the jewelry. He says they'll get new jewelry in on the next like Thursday so I can come in then. And I'm thinking there's no way in hell I'm coming back. So he gives me my money back and we go to another tattoo shop that's like super reputable, but it costed me $80. Well, it costed my mom $80, but it was worth it. They told me to go home because my nose was way too swollen and to come back in 2 weeks. So I did once the swelling went down and everything was fine. And she re-pierced my nose and it just went through so fast and I was like, is this what it's supposed to be like? Wow. So looking at the list on my phone, I realized that I've been filming for a while and I'm not even halfway done with the list. So this is definitely going to be part 1 of the piercing horror stories, and I'm going to make a part 2 later. So let me just throw one more story, y'all. So the next major piercing that I had was my belly button, and my brother did that one. So I'm going to be honest and tell you that I never even wanted my belly button pierced. I only did it because I just wanted a piercing so bad, but I didn't want my parents to know. And that's kind of a theme in these stories. And by this point, my brother was regularly piercing people. He had surgical clamps. He literally had surgical needles. He had the sanitizer. He had everything. And he had done a ton of research. So I was like, cool, pierce my belly button. It wasn't until he put the clamps down on my belly that I realized that this was a surface piercing. And if you don't really know what a surface piercing is, it means that it's gonna take up a lot of surface of your skin. So as soon as I saw just how much skin the needle was gonna have to go through, I freaked out. This was probably my first panic attack ever, and I'm not gonna lie, it was hilarious. Just imagine, I had a pair of clamps clamped down on my belly button for around 40 minutes because I was panicking. I was crying out of fear. I asked for water because I thought I was gonna pass out. Yes, it was really that bad. My brother got so frustrated at me that he yelled at me and put the needle close to me and was like, you better stand still because I'm gonna do it. He must have been getting me back for that time that I made him blind, cause he did it. He pierced my belly button and everything was okay. But damn it, that was the scariest piercing that I've ever gotten, and I don't know why. If y'all want me to make a video about all the piercings that I've gotten, because it's a lot, please thumbs this video up to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified of the next time that I upload my Piercing Horror Stories Part 2. You might end up on YouTube making videos about it. What are you still doing here? You should go watch another one of my videos. I mean, just click on one of the 2. Or the bubble to subscribe. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.